Welcome back, everybody. Dren608 plays. I've used up a lot of spells, so before I go try and find Nyrissa, I do have the lantern on, don't I? I have the lantern on. Alright, so we're going to grab everybody. We're going to go out and we're going to rest so that we're at full. I guess the wyverns won't follow us out. So we'll go out.
I'll go ahead.
I'm just going to go down here. We're going to rest. No. It's like, you know I can't cook, so why don't you just automatically turn on the rations? It failed again. Why is it only 27? Oh, did I have damage? I must have had ability damage that I didn't know about. She can throw lightning bolts. Not that it'll help us much. Everything's proof against everything I've got, pretty much. Alright, we're gonna go back in. We have to go up to the second level. We're gonna take this crew. We need to go... It's on the second level, they said. Why does it not take everyone? It's so annoying.
The path is clear.
Just making sure we're still at light. We're gonna go up here. It said it was on the second level. What's their journal say? So we've got that done. We just need to get to the shrine. And I was told that it was on the second level. Before I go up there, assuming stuff's reset now that I have the keys, now we're going to cast our buffs. Delay poison. Invisibility. She's got to free move herself. And Val. Do myself. I will do myself. You need to turn that off. And that off. Damn it. She was gonna cast... No, he's the one that casts... Protection. And then, Stone Skin. She'll cast Remove Fear. I think that's everything. Grab everybody. Up the stairs we go. Where did we find those locked doors that we couldn't get through? doors we had to go unlock. They were down here. There's like one here, and one here. Right? I think that's right. There's a door here. Maybe I just unlock them on the way down. There's one here. Okay, I don't need to unlock all of them. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. Different ways to get in the room, I guess.
The path is clear.
Where the hell am I? Big old tree. Which way? There's the Horned Hunter. Let's go over this way. I've got to face this dude. There he is.
The mistress punished me for failing to deal with you. And look, her favorites, the Gnurly Witch and the Wriggling Man, have also failed. Think not of me. Did I not tell you that the shadows behind your back is always her? And the sound of footsteps in the dark, always her. Turn around.
My hound. You have run so long to finally meet your mistress.
Calm, excited, frightened, or angry. Nurse severely looks at you. She stops by the apology, runs her fingers over it. My hound, you run for the rage.
What hope do you speak of? There isn't any in the world, nor was there ever. Evil and sorrow are masters of our lives. Let's get this over with. Either I kill you and get the last grain of dust for the apology, or you kill me and carry the memory of Nyrissa and her despair with you for the rest of your brief life. Oh, if only you could know how tired I am. After thousands of years in this insane dance of lies and destruction, can I believe that anything will ever be better again? No, it's all in vain. I don't want to fight. But is there anything left to hope for? No future, no life, no redemption. I surrender.
Now what happened? Okay. Everything around shudders with the scream of 1,000 voices. Soundless but trembling. Watch a tiny dot of light, a grain, appear above the apology and slowly fall down. Okay.
My kingdom. My own kingdom. Turn to dust. Become the 1,000th grain for the apology.
Ah. I
looked for it for such a long time. So long that I forgot why I needed it. But you, why do you want to return what I lost to me?
Because I want justice.
What does justice mean in matters of the soul? In the games of great powers, in the beating of a living heart? It's just a word, and nothing more. If that's all that moves you, then forget it. I don't need this gift.
Okay, well. No, I don't want to ally with her. Let her go end her problems. I'm gonna let her go.
Is this mercy? Or a cruel joke that I do not understand? Let it be. I accept your gift. I'll go to the trial of the eldest and give them the apology. It represents thousands of years of insanity. This must end.
Oh, I'm not gonna have to do a fight? Kitty wants to play with you, Nyrissa. I have to fight him. Shakes off the chain slowly, like blades of grass, and moves towards you. His movements are strangely powerful.
You've pleased me, King of the Sand Castle. Now that the performance is almost over, we can take off our masks. Although I'll be sad to part with them. I am a voice from another world that you've heard since you first set foot on the Stolen Lands. A harbinger of doom and change.
That was Remus. That was the first guy I met.
I am dust and echo, a memory of the past. I am the one who revealed to you the truth about the fallen goddess, who gave you the light capable of dispersing the mist.
That was him as the old gnome.
I am the one who began this story, and I am the one who will end it. I am the eldest of the First World. I am the Lantern King.
Self-appointed god of the First World. Wasn't it enough for you to witness the hardships to which Nyrissa doomed innocent people? All because of your curse? Leave us alone!
Run! Of course, that's probably not going to help, but...
You, a creature from the mortal world. You are just one of thousands of waves born in an ocean of my creation. Played your role well. So go, return to your fragile house, live your little toy life. Forget about the nymph Nyrissa and the matters of the First World. It's the most precious gift I can give to you. And I shall press on. The finale of my play draws near.
Huh. Return home. That's it. We're done.
I'll go ahead.
We can just go home? Well, that's somewhat anticlimactic. 13 minutes of no fights. I guess I could have just attacked right away. I mean, there's rooms off here, but I don't really think I want to mess with them. Right? I don't think I want to mess with anything. Well, let's see what happens if we go home. Do we get to finish up our kingdom? Out we go. What's our experience total look like? Still not even at 3 million. Alright, well kids, here we go. Out the door we go. Against all odds.
Bring it before us as an offering, so that an eldest may sip from it, the curse said. Having filled the cup, Nyrissa appeared before the gods of the First World. That was when the Lantern King played another joke. He announced that the nymph, cursed for her attempt to become one of the eldest, would now get to be one. The eldest of dust and trampled hope, doomed to drink from her own cup and suffer terrible pain. Well, everyone got what they wanted. We got a peaceful kingdom, Nyrissa got her status as an eldest, and the Lantern King got a finale to his horrific performance.
Okay.
Now that the eldest and other spiteful beings wouldn't be bothering us, the king returned to his subjects and celebrated the victory and the end of the kingdom's miseries with great fanfare. Everything gradually returned to normal, including our exciting lives. Not always peaceful, but also not troubled by invasions from another world. And little by little, our heroes and the common folk began to forget the sorrows of the past.
Huh.
Under the wise leadership of the king, the stolen lands became a true country. There was still much to be done, of course, and some of it will need to be finished by our heroes' descendants. But there are no longer cut purses on every corner, and the peasants aren't afraid some new self-proclaimed chief will show up and strong-arm himself into power. Just half a year after the war with the First World, Galt moved its troops to the southern border of the kingdom. Their attack was rebuffed. The enemy state's infantry retreated when the army's wizards brought down rains of fire and magical arrows on the heads of the flabbergasted enemy soldiers. Since then, Galt hasn't risked crossing any borders again, fearing cruel retaliation for further insolence. The king's subjects praise his generosity, while citizens of neighboring lands groan from crippling taxes. Citizens of the stolen lands have it pretty good. Truth be told, the treasury isn't always capable of paying the royal bills, and the throne room's adornments are clearly decaying. But sometimes you have to buy the people's love, literally. The king decided to stay out of the religious lives of his subjects, and so small cults and sects began to blossom in the stolen lands. More and more often, the theological arguments between feuding congregations would turn into full brawls. I could only hope the guards had enough power to keep the rage of the fanatics at bay.
Not them, then me, and Val.
The king became a true patron of fine crafts. Over time, the castle treasury filled with wonderful gifts from the best masters in the area. Armor, weapons, even magical artifacts. And the collection is still growing.
That must be all the masterwork things that I didn't get them all before I had to confront Nyrissa. Okay.
No kingdom can function without its nobility, and the kingdom in the stolen lands is no exception. Landowners, ready to share the burden of ruling alongside the king, grew to be more and more influential over time. And the more pompous the court balls and receptions held by dukes and baronets became, the more eventful were the lives of the schemers and freeloaders who always live within the shadows of the powerful.
That had to do with my saying make their own nobility.
The feud between Brevois North and South, which had been smoldering for ages, never sparked the fires of civil war. Through great effort, our king managed to bring both parties to the negotiating table. While Rostland didn't gain its independence, it did receive wide autonomy rights. Our relationships with both House Sertova and the Sword Lords are respectful, but they've become lukewarm. Because of us, neither side got everything they wanted. Chandra Merve returned to our court, but just half a year later, she was poisoned. No one found out who did it or why. The Tiger Lords found it difficult to recuperate after what Armagh did to them. The barbarians remaining in Numeria weren't very happy that we sheltered the deposed chief and his supporters, but they were too afraid of him to attack us over it. That bomb has a long fuse, but it's definitely burning. I'm afraid that a few generations down the road, the grandchildren of the current Tiger Lords may want to retaliate against us for their grandfathers.
Okay.
Pitax almost returned to its former state. A joyful city filled with beers of dubious quality and deals of questionable legality. The old trade houses lost the crown, but they retrieved the property Iravetti had taken from them. Soon, Pitax became almost like a second capital in the kingdom, a thriving city through which rivers of money from across the region ran. Unfortunately, we get much less of this money than we would like. Governor Lyachenza turned out to be helpless against widespread embezzlement.
Figures.
Maestro Bellavara gave the Academy of the Arts a second wind, throwing out mediocre students and sycophants. She gathered within its walls talented visionaries, rebels, and freethinkers, those whose gifts felt cramped within the walls of more respectable institutions. She managed to do what Iravetti never could, namely, make the Academy truly famous, albeit scandalously so. And so what if, instead of odes to the king, the Academy releases sneering pamphlets and revolutionary leaflets? It only helps his reputation as a true patron of the arts. Trolls and kobolds, two of the most savage native peoples living in the Gnarl Marches, were completely exterminated in the region. The forest paths became much safer, and the peasants' cattle have stopped going missing. After enduring so many storms and troubles, Varnhold eventually turned into a real city. Daring settlers decided to conquer the vast, wild expanses of Dunsword, and despite all odds, they succeeded. The modest colony that almost vanished at the hands of an ancient lich turned everything around to become a thriving city with lively river trading. Agay, the Spriggan leader, learned a valuable lesson after surviving his meeting with the king and even regaining his tribe's home. Don't try to occupy seemingly empty settlements anymore. Instead, the Spriggans settled across Dunsword's wild borderlands and proclaimed it as their domain. Keeping the peace in a situation like that seems like the stuff of dreams, as evidenced by the occasional lost patrols and stolen cattle. Peace reigns in the caves beneath the old sycamore. The kobolds and mites continue to explore the depths and learn simple crafts from each other. Rumor has it, the first mite-kobold wedding even happened not long ago. That said, settlers still aren't rushing to build new homes in the area. Some kind souls even put up warning signs along the roads. Beware, traveler. Steer clear of the old sycamore. Another inscription soon appeared over the sign, though. No keep going treasure ahead, honest. Oleg's trading post continues to thrive, attracting even more travelers. Much to its owner's displeasure, a small town is springing up around it. Despite Oleg's grumbling, he and his wife are well regarded by everyone, and Svetlana was even elected town chief. Making sure her sister was safe, the former bandit Kressel traveled south. Her trail went cold somewhere in Absalom's docks. They say she changed her name again and now serves on a trade ship, hiding from old acquaintances. Jod remained loyal to the king to the end of his days, healing the sick and generously sharing his austere wisdom with anyone who wished to hear it, and some who didn't. Having fulfilled his duty to the ruler, Erastel's priest peacefully departed this world, surrounded by friends and disciples. Having participated in Lamashtu's ritual, Olika gave birth to a strong and healthy baby. Sadly, the child grew into an unruly and violent adolescent. Having maimed a peer at just 10 years of age, the boy escaped to the Gnarl Marches, fleeing the rage of a mob that tore his mother to pieces instead. No one knows what happened to the lad, but legends of Lamashtu's child, who sometimes kills lost travelers and sometimes leads them to safety, are passed on by word of mouth throughout the area. Breinhardt became a loyal ally and trade partner of the kingdom, and Darvin himself had been seen as a frequent guest in the capital. The elegant monarch of the neighboring kingdom has broken many hearts at court. After his visits, many young guards and servants have been seen staring through windows, sighing wistfully about something. The Fae took a fancy to the kingdom, feeling totally at home here. They often play various pranks, but they never do any serious harm. Falcos and Teresia managed to restore the magic forest. Once freed of the anger of the Scythe Tree, people returned to the abandoned village, and it became a haven of friendship between the Fae and ordinary people, just like old times.
Okay.
The lizard folk of the Longtail tribe returned to live on the shores of Candlemere, but they couldn't return to their ancient way of life. Living alongside people, the lizard folk adopted their behaviors, habits, and even religion. More and more of the Longtail tribe pray not to the spirits of their ancestors, but to Erastil or Gorum. They even began to forget their original language. I hope someone writes down their songs and legends before they all sink into oblivion. A delegation of wizards from Absalom and other areas appeared in the kingdom one day, asking for permission to examine the lair of the Lich Nyrissa the Thoughtful. After completing their research, the wizards spent a long time thanking the king for freeing the world of that monster. In their opinion, he'd been capable of causing the end of the world, maybe even 2 worlds. The Sweet Teeth departed on a journey, hoping to see as many wonders as possible of this world and others. They keep sending us news from every corner of the map. Their bright painted wagon, drawn by a bull mastodon, crisscrosses Galarian, somehow appearing in the center of one incredible story after another.
Cute.
Evindra was glad to see the Lantern King's plans turn to dust. She spent some time helping restore the kingdom after the calamity, then returned home to the First World. They say the rebellious spirit of her cousin Nyrissa awoke within her as well. Evindra is said to recount their story to the Fae, encouraging them to question the power and might of the eldest. After the victory, the storyteller abandoned his affairs and began spending a lot of time alone in contemplation. He eventually bid farewell to the king and left his lands, but I suspect the inhabitants of Galarian haven't heard the last of this mysterious traveler, for his own story is hardly finished. Amiri remained a pariah to her native tribe, but she stayed close friends with Nylak, who ruled the Six Bears wisely and taught them to survive in the unfamiliar plains and cities. The restless barbarian would often travel for long stretches of time, but sooner or later she would always return to her old friends, bragging about new scars and recounting new feats, many of which Nylak immortalized in song. Harren became famous, respected by dwarves throughout our kingdom as well as our neighbors, even as far as the Five Kings Mountains. He's often been asked to help out or teach others, and he's never denied anyone, despite his grumbling. Some people even listen to his preaching. Lucky for us, there's a lot less howling about the end of the world now, and more wise words of moderation and humility. Not all of his disciples turned to Grotus, but everyone took away something useful from his teachings.
Cool.
Octavia didn't stay still for very long. Soon, she and Reg went to Numeria and started a huge slave rebellion there. They didn't manage to destroy the Technic League, but to this day, slaves speak their names with admiration, and slavers with terror. Over the course of their journey, the two grew as close as ever, leaving their quarrels and resentments behind. After returning from Numeria, Octavia settled in her mother's house and became the king's advisor and loyal companion. Rigangar left for Numeria with Octavia to start a slave rebellion. Over the journey, he really matured and learned to understand others, as well as how to control his anger. After he returned, he took a position in the king's court. Being both formidable and charming, he inspired fear in the hearts of some and lust in others. There are even some rumors that he almost talked Octavia into marrying him, and possibly even continuing the Della Fiorni line. once the war was over, Tristan kept his promise to Sarenrae. In the middle of celebrating the king's victory, the priest suddenly disappeared in a flash of light, vanishing forever. I hope Sarenrae didn't take the Movonic Deva's memory, so her servant might still remember us and the stolen lands. Or if she did, I hope he was at least able to forget everything about the lands in which he endured so much suffering. After the war ended, Ekin hung up his bow on the wall and traded the path of the ranger in for the craft of the carpenter. It may not be the most heroic ending to a tragic story like his, but as Torag is my witness, Ekin's happy with it, as is Alina, who became his wife and is bearing his child. Any baby born into this family will be pretty lucky, since the king himself still visits his old friend and will likely become the child's patron. Jubilost returned to the life of a traveling explorer, frequently visiting his favorite kingdom. He said so himself. His famous work studying the First World all opened with a dedication to his longtime companion, the king. Another name was also mentioned, 2Z, my guide and inspiration. Admirers would ask Jubilost many times about this mystery lady, but he would only chuckle, pitch his knapsack on his shoulder, and return to storm the vast expanses of the First World once again.
Okay.
As for Knock Knock, apologies, I mean Jester Knock Knock, he continued to be a great source of entertainment for the kingdom, both in and out of the throne room, sometimes even on purpose. His antics in the kingdom had an additional effect. Aside from bringing joy and amusement to the citizens, it also softened the common view of goblins. They even became welcome in the streets of the city, for a time. While he may not have become the hero he envisioned, Knock Knock did find himself and his inner strengths thanks to the king. If you should ever find yourself in the kingdom, be sure to seek him out. He'll gladly regale you with some new tale of adventure, one that will surely make you smile, whether our foolhardy, clumsy, well-intentioned goblin means to or not. Kalika has become calmer and wiser, but her friends no longer hear her singing by the fire anymore. If she does write poems, she keeps them hidden away. She doesn't quarrel with her sister, but perhaps because she's grown weary of fighting, and not because they've truly made peace. Canera's precocious spirit seems to have evaporated. She doesn't jeer and mock others as much as she used to, and her friends mourn her sharp wit. She's grown amicable with her sister, but her liveliness, emotional tantrums, and deep caring have given way to a calm, almost businesslike acceptance.
Huh. That must be because we couldn't finish their quest. Because this is like endgame here. Okay. Their quest must have come... I had to pick another ending, I guess, to get their last quest.
The king and Valerie stayed together, lovers and companions, bound not only by love, but by common duty. The amazing union underlies dozens of ballads and poems written by delighted subjects and echoed all throughout Aveston. There's more fiction than truth in those poems, of course. Our hero and his beloved keep their relationship well behind closed doors. The only thing kept in the chronicles in the truest detail is the grand royal wedding. Valerie became a worthy and honest ruler, like anyone doubted she would. And while their subjects can't wait for an heir, the beautiful royal couple seems to be in no hurry to continue their lineage. As for myself, the author of this book, Lindsay, who never chose a pretty nickname, I'm still here, inside my creation, within the Capitol Library. I live just like I always dreamed, surrounded by people and books, and not a day goes by without someone turning my pages. My story inspired many others to take up the quill. My readers have written many beautiful books and poems, transporting prisoners of humdrum lives into worlds of endless fantasy. What more could I dream of? I hope, oh honored reader, that this story inspired some creativity in you, or at least offered some entertainment. In any case, it's time to set the final period.
That's it. That's it. So game over. Well, I hope you guys found that entertaining. I was not expecting that easy of an ending. I was expecting a huge series of boss fights, but I guess there's a way to not go through boss fights. I have to try the ending sometime without choosing the peaceful ways and go whole hog, kill them all, and see what happens. If you like what you've seen, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe for future things. I'm not sure where I'm going to go next. If I'm going to go on to the next adventure of this one, there is a follow-up thing, Wrath of the Righteous or something like that, which is a similar situation. I will be much more open-eyed about that one because obviously they decide to do things that I don't necessarily agree with. I am going to... Excuse me for a second. Let's turn the music down a bit. Alright. So, we're done. This is the last episode for this particular series. 350 or 60 of these episodes. So there's a lot to watch. Got very frustrated with the game in many cases. The ending was not what I would have liked them to do, but that's what they chose to do. I did have choices on how to go through the ending. I chose the one that I thought a neutral good person would choose. If I was playing a different, like a lawful good paladin or something, I would have gone a different route. So I did try to stick to my character's alignment and not just metagame like out of the wiki or something. I did use the wiki whenever I was looking at something that was like, oh, this is going to take me hours to solve this puzzle. And rather than spending hours trying to figure it out on camera, I just looked in the wiki to make sure that I was, going about it the right way. There are some of the puzzles that I did offline. I ran like 3 or 4 sessions to figure out what the order was, and then there were some that was just like, this is, boring to see me go, whoop, that didn't work, whoop, that didn't work, whoop, that didn't work. So some of those I did use wiki and other online media to figure out the puzzles so that I could show you how it gets solved and then move on to the next part of the adventure. There is, the credits are humongous. There's lots of people that should be credited here. Just, pages and pages of people's names, the companies that were involved, and the people that helped them put all this together. This is definitely something you should take a look at to see how many people, took part of all this. I didn't see anywhere in there if they assigned who did what names. I think they did somewhere. But you can find out who the voice actors were. The only thing I would say, the one thing that would make this game even better than what it was, is every time I saw one of the companions speaking in quotes, I would have loved to have them just read that line and have them just pop that line in there whenever they were quotes, like kingdom events and things, and just have them do the talking to you so that you could actually get more immersed into their personalities and things like that. Well, I guess that's it for now. Like I said, if you like what you see, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. Leave me comments on what you'd like to see me go do next. That's kind of important to see where I want to go next. I kind of have two branches going here. One's computer role-playing games and or other computer games. And then I also have board games that I've been playing on the Vassal module and or Board Game Geek mod system. So I can also do some of those games for you, whether in live session or in recordings, which is what I've been leaning towards, because then if I do recordings and things get messed up, I always can go back and redo it. When you're in a live stream, you can't do that. You just gotta like live with what happens. Okay. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found some interesting solutions to the problems. I did set myself up to only going down like single path. Stayed in my lane, so to speak. Didn't splash. If you read the guides online, especially some of the people that are like, this is how you build your characters to maximize your gameplay or whatever, they splash 2 of this and 3 of that, and they have like a main character that does 10 or 15 levels, and then they splash 2 or 3 of other things in there to try and give you extra advantages. I found it refreshing to just go straight down the line and see how good a single character can get. I still don't know how you're going to get 3.6 million experience points. I haven't quite figured out how you can do that. I may have left a few quests out there unsolved, undone, but I don't think it was like 1 million experience points worth of quests. So they say that it's not that hard to get to 20th level if you do certain things. I don't necessarily agree. I think that you would have to basically kill every monster on the map, let nothing go, and even then I don't know if you would get to 3.6 million. It just seems like it's an awful long reach. But be that as it may, until we meet again, stay safe and bye-bye.